Hey, what's going on? It's Bill Burr, and it's time for the Monday Morning Podcast for Monday, October 17th, 2016. What's going on? How are ya? Oh, how are you? Oh, look at you. I am in Washington, D.C., and I got 3 more shows here before I fly to Nashville, and then I tape my next special. And I think I'm ready to go. Saturday night, I was ready to kill myself after the show I did, because I was just, even though the show went great, people had a good time, I was just in my head the whole time going, and then I'm going to do this joke, and then I will do this one, and then that will flow into this one. I was fighting, like I just was in my head. And last night I was just like, you know what, fuck it, just go up and whatever joke feels like it wants to come out, do it that way. That's the way you always do it. Just do it that way, all right? How many fucking times do you have to learn this goddamn lesson, all right? You're not the person that writes it all out and just stands up there with one hand in his pocket and the other one, fucking making gestures. It's not who I am. I'm a fucking, I don't know. I got to walk around. I got to get out there and walk around. So I hope that isn't too loud. I'm turn this down a little bit. Turn down the levels. I didn't bring any of my recording shit because I'm so fucking psycho-focused for this thing right now. So I don't know. You know what's weird is I'm going to do this special right before the biggest fucking election of my lifetime, considering these are the 2 worst goddamn candidates, and I'm really trying to see a light at the end of the fucking tunnel here. But what's weird is, by the time my shit comes out, the election's going to be over. And you know how it is. When the election's over, whoever lost within 3 days, I mean, it's like boy band fame. You're just gone. Like, remember how quickly Al Gore disappeared? He just fucking disappeared. And then, months later, he had like this mountain man beard. Like, whatever fucking happened to that guy? I'll tell you what else was fucked up. You know what? They were bitching about Hillary, and they were saying, like, why is the media so silent because Al Gore got accused of sexual assault? Why aren't they saying anything? And it's just like, I love how if you just get fucking accused of it. There's all this shit on the side. They protect women where it's like, don't give up their identities and all of that, which I completely agree with. And I fucking hate Al Gore, but he was just, anybody can just say, yeah, this guy did this shit to me. And then all of a sudden it's all over the media. And I don't know. I saw something recently. The fuck story was it? Oh, there's a movie coming out. That Beast of a Nation. And the guy who directed it got accused and got acquitted of rape. And everybody's going like, well, what's the deal? It's like, well, he went on trial and they said he was innocent. You know what I mean? But people that will follow that person for the rest of their life. So my thing is, if you get accused of that shit in the public, you're never innocent. So that guy got accused. He got acquitted. They said he was innocent of the crime. But because everybody knows his fucking name, 20 goddamn years later, it's still coming up and tainting whatever he's doing in his life. So then it becomes, well, I hope he fucking did it because he's getting treated as though he did. Does that make any fucking sense whatsoever? You know what I mean? And there'll be some that they're going on. Actually, it doesn't mean that he was innocent. It just means that there wasn't enough evidence to convict. Which is yet another thing. But I got to tell you, like, the one I will say, and I know he's just been accused, is fucking Donald Trump, right? When a bunch of broads came out and said, oh, he did this, he did that, yada, yada, yada. The Clintons are so fucking filthy. I mean, I'm just like, well, who knows if this is fucking true, right? Like, this is just coming out now. This guy's been fucking running for office for over a year and a half, and it's just coming out now. So I took it all with a grain of salt because politics are fucking filthy, and no one's more filthy than the fucking Clintons, right? But one woman finally comes on. I was riding with the lovely Nia, and we're in the car, and she goes to tell her story. And rather than it being the usual generic, and then he did this, and he did that, and I felt uncomfortable, and people are like, what the fuck? She goes, whatever. This poor woman's like in her 20s, and then this fucking old creep is coming at her with his orange fucking hair, right? Which I guess that's kind of self-hatred there. But I mean, at least mine's real. And when he makes a move on her, she pushes him away, and she goes, I said, get real. And then she goes, he then pushed his genitals in, like, thrusted his genitals towards me and went, get real. And me and Neil were like, oh my God, that definitely happened. That's just too fucking specific. So I'm being a little hypocritical here because the person wasn't put on trial. But anyways, this is what the fuck I wanted to talk about. I got to do my special this week. And you know something? I don't give a fuck. Because people are always like, well, the stand-up special, it should be timeless. It should be timeless. It's like, let me ask you this. I mean, and I'm not putting myself, obviously, in the same category. Do you give a fuck, you know, if you listen to an old Kinnison thing, and he's talking about, you know, who are those fucking idiots trying to put, like, warning labels on albums? You know, does it matter that it did? Or, like, you listen to Richard Pryor and he's talking about Muhammad Ali and shit. Like, I don't mind that it dates it, so fuck it. Because I know what it felt like Saturday night when I was just like, do not talk about that shit. By the time this special comes out, that stuff will already be gone. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to talk about it. And if it seems dated when we're editing, that's what the fuck I'll do. I hope this isn't boring to you, to take you through the minutia of doing a stand-up special. But anyways, I'm having a great time here in D.C. I went over to Georgetown yesterday. I just sort of walked the city a little bit with Joe Bartnick, which was awesome because this is one of the most confusing fucking cities as far as, like, you know, trying to figure out basically where you're at. Like, there was 3 areas of this city that I was familiar with, but I didn't know how they connected. There was the DC Improv. There was the W Hotel near the White House, where I've stayed a number of times. And now there's, like, the National Theater and where I'm staying this time. And the thing about DC is it's all, like, you know, the address is, like, you know, whatever, 659 Pennsylvania Avenue, but then it's like southwest, northwest, fucking east, or whatever, and that's just like, how the fuck I mean, you need like a goddamn compass, just the way this whole thing is laid out. So, yesterday I actually did a fucking walk, and I kind of walked to all 3 of those places. And, like, I didn't realize I'm at the National Theater. I'm like, I wonder where the W in the White House is compared to that. And it was, like, fucking 2 blocks over. And then, like, another 2 blocks and about 6 blocks up was the Improv. So I feel like I have that little corridor all memorized. And I finally flew into fucking Reagan Airport, you know, rather than flying out to fucking Dulles, which is, like, 30 miles, I think, west of the city or some shit like that. North. I don't know what the fuck it is. So I land and I check a bag, which I never do. I never fucking check a bag. Like when I went to Europe just for like a month touring and took a quick vacation, I had a little fucking overhead compartment bag. And you know something? It was fine. Oh, hang on a second. My breakfast is here. All right, I'm back. Fucking guy was hilarious. Guy delivering the food. I was like, hey, what's up? And he was just like, he's like, hey, where would you want me to put this? Over there on the table will be fine. Okay, enjoy your breakfast. Real weird voice. Anyways, had a terrorist beard too. You know? Pre 9/11, I would call it an Abe Lincoln beard. You know, he just got the beard and no mustache. That was the Abe Lincoln. The fucking chin strap. But the terrorist beard is the fucking no mustache, chin strap, but then it's sort of frizzed out. You know? That's a terrorist beard, unless you're black. If you're black, that just means you're from Philadelphia. Okay, plowing ahead here. The hell was I talking about? Oh, who gives a shit? Was it even that important? Probably not. Anyways, I had a great week. Before I came out here, I had a really cool experience. Do you guys remember a couple of years ago I was raving about that Jon Favreau movie, Chef? If you haven't seen the movie, it's phenomenal. It's just such a great movie, and just don't be hungry when you watch it, because you will consume like 12,000 calories after watching it, because some of the food, basically all of the food that they make, looks unbelievable. So, long story short, like whenever they have like end credit stuff on like a movie, it's usually like outtakes or something from the actors screwing up or whatever. John had to learn how to basically, I guess, he had to take cooking classes and stuff, so he looked like he was an actual chef, so the movie's character would ring true, all that actory stuff. So there was a guy showing him how to make a grilled cheese sandwich. This guy, Chef Roy Choi, who had the Koji truck, started the whole food truck movement out here in LA and everything. And he was showing him how to do it, and John just decided to film it when he was making this cheeseburger, and it was like so fucking intense when the guy was like all crouched down looking at it, and he was moving the grilled cheese sandwich. You're just thinking like this is something like a fucking 12-year-old could make, but watching this guy do it and the level of intensity, the Game 7 fucking intensity that this guy had when he made it, I was just like, what? It like blew me away. It was like I've never been that into fucking cooking something ever. I'd never seen it, right? So, long story short, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this or anything. Who gives a shit? This would be like a teaser, but Favreau's been like filming some stuff of him cooking with this chef, and I ran into him out here, and he said, "Hey, that guy, who made the cheeseburger, the grilled cheese sandwich is going to be out there. You want to come out and watch him make it?" And I was like, "Yeah, fucking absolutely, I would love to." So I was hanging off set, and I got to watch them make it and everything. And they pulled me in, let me fucking make the grilled cheese sandwich with them. It was one of the coolest, most surreal things I've done in this business. And the fucking grilled cheese sandwich was so good. Like an idiot, I'm out here on the road, and they had a grilled cheese sandwich on the room service of a fucking hotel, and I order it like it's going to be as good. And it wasn't. Times I learned that fucking lesson, but I want to thank him and Chef Roy for letting me hang out. I had such a fucking great time. I learned so much shit about cooking, and what was funny was he never went like, "Oh, this is how you do this." You just kind of went in there and did it. And what amazed me was afterwards, when I was thinking about all the stuff that I saw him do, like just how he would just like move the grilled cheese sandwich around, how he would, fuck with the temperature. I was like I'm a robot when I cook. I'm literally like, whatever, quarter tablespoon of salt, and I like take it out and I measure it and flick the top. Like these guys, they don't use any sort of measuring whatsoever. They're constantly tasting the shit and then adjusting their temperature up. And whatever my temperature is at, that's what the fuck we're cooking at, which makes no sense when you really think about it. But I was just like, it's like being completely locked in on your act as opposed to just out there kind of flowing with it. And what is funny, so they would teach me, you got to taste it as you're going, So I was doing that, and John mentioned, he goes, "Yeah, when you cook like this, it tastes great, but by the time you're done," he goes, "you don't want to eat it because you've tried it so many times. You're actually kind of full a little bit." And that was kind of the deal with everything except for the grilled cheese sandwich. Made a Cuban sandwich. It was crazy. The whole thing was crazy. So that happened, and I'm recording this shit on GarageBand, and as always, I have no idea how much time has gone by. I should have just looked at the clock up top, but I didn't. But this is the new me. This is the new calmer me who refuses to let technology piss him off. I spent an hour and a half the opening night. Bruins, their opening night
their first fucking game. Who the fuck did they play? They played Toronto Saturday. I don't even remember. But since like 2007, 2008, I have been, I've had the Center Ice package, and I've had an account online, and I'm able to just sign in and watch the fucking games. Lo and behold, this year I can't. So I don't flip out. I call up. I spent an hour and a fucking half talking to people from Malaysia. Okay? Because I finally got one woman to tell me where she was at. Because this first guy was going like, he's just talking to me. And I'm like, yeah, I want to watch the hockey. He's like, hockey? I'm like, yes, hockey. He goes, just like ice hockey? I'm like, yeah, Bruins, original 6, 2011 Stanley Cup champions. And I was like, don't flip out. And then finally, I was on the phone with this guy for like 45 minutes. He couldn't figure out what the fucking problem was. And I got a little heated. I was just like, dude, I'm not trying to be a jerk, but there's a little bit of a language barrier here, and you didn't know what hockey was to start with. I should have considered that as an omen. We're 45 minutes in. If we haven't figured it out yet, this isn't working out, okay? Have a nice evening. And he said, okay, I'm sorry. And then I felt bad, and then I just fucking hung up. And then I called back, and then I got another person. And she's going like hockey, like ice hockey, right? Same fucking thing. And I was saying, well, this is the problem I'm having. It's like I'm literally trying to watch something that the person on the other side of the phone doesn't know what it is, and they're on the other side of the world. I go like, where are you right now? And she goes, Asia. I go, you're in Asia? And she goes, yes. She goes, I hope that's not going to be a problem, which made me feel like a Trump supporter. I was like, no, it's not a problem, but you know what I mean? I go, if you were trying to watch cricket and you had to call me up, I'm like, cricket, like the insect or the sport? Wouldn't you get frustrated? So long story short, I spent an hour and a half. I spent like half the fucking game on the phone, and they still couldn't figure it out. And I just said, you know what, to hell with it. And I felt my wife watching me. She kept coming in, and then she was trying to get upset for me, because she didn't want to see the time bomb go off. And I actually held it together. And I didn't get to see 1 second of the game. And I guess they have some new thing this year. You can no longer stream it. You have to pay for both now. I don't know. They got AT&T bought them, so now you have to pay for both. Because that's how corporations work. Them to make like $1 zillion. They now have to make like fucking. They got to make, $2 zillion. It's just like, why can't you cunts just be happy with the 70-foot yacht? Why do you always have to be looking for a 90-foot yacht? It's fucking unbelievable, man. It's just, I don't know. I was listening to fucking, I'm going to stop moving this computer because I know that gets really loud when I do it. Sorry. I was listening to NPR, right? Well, my wife was listening to it, and I was tolerating it. I like some of the fucking music, but just like their politics, it's so childlike to just be sitting there leaning all the way to one fucking side. It's just like, really? Nobody with a blue tie does anything wrong? Everybody with a red tie is an asshole? It's like fucking political, like racism in a way. But everybody thinks that they're a fucking saint, One of the dumbest things ever in those Trump rallies, like, somebody had like a sign or a T-shirt that says "fuck your feelings." I love how people on the right just think they're so fucking like hardcore and like, people can't handle the truth. You know what I mean? You know what they're like? People on the right that are like that. They're like those. Like, you ever meet some chick and she'll just say some shit like, guys are intimidated by me. They can't handle me. And then joke I used to do with my actors like, you ever think maybe you're just a cunt? I mean, I'm not saying you are, but that's definitely a possibility. That could be behind door number 3, and that could be the fucking answer. You self-involved shithead. I don't know. And then like people on the left. I remember one time I had a small part in a movie, and we were shooting in New Orleans, and at our hotel, like this big Republican convention was coming. So they had this big banner. It was all in red. So one of the producers on the movie she was just like, oh my God, did you see that banner? I was just like, Jesus.
am I in, like, where am I right now? And I just looked at her, I was like, people are allowed to be Republicans. And she just goes, oh, I know, I'm just being that person. But they fucking drive me up the wall. Well, gee, Bill, aren't you just the perfect fucking person? You know what I am? I'm a fucking conspiracy theorist. And once you become that, you lose a lot of friends. You drive people nuts, but you start trying to look behind whatever the fuck they're showing you. And, like, I don't think it fucking matters which person wins this because, the people on the other side, because they're making you fucking pay for the center ice package on TV and now on cable. They got an extra revenue stream. They're selling all your fucking information. And they got all this money. They put money on both horses, so it doesn't fucking matter. So I'm listening to NPR with my wife, and they just sort of casually mentioned that scientists said the Great Barrier Reef is now dead. And you know what they segued into after that? The results of the Dodgers game. So, I don't know. I just think, well, we're completely fucked. And I want to thank whoever created the Great Barrier Reef. I'm sorry we finally wrapped it around a fucking tree. That's what we're like. We're like a bunch of fucking rich kids. And our parents bought us this beautiful fucking car. And we're just out there doing neutral drops and fucking slamming it into trees. And we're going to fuck the whole thing up. But unlike rich kids' parents, I don't think mommy's going to get us another car. Do you know when I was in fucking high school, there was these two kids, right? These two rich kids. One of them got a fucking Pontiac Trans Am. Like a brand new one, the F-body. The one that everybody fucking loved in the 80s. The Knight Rider version. He got the fucking Trans Am. This kid was like a 16, 17-year-old kid. He had a brand new, like 85, 86 Trans Am. So the other rich kid's parents, they're like competing. But this other kid, a fucking 1985 or 1986 IROC Z. I mean, they were pulling up to the school. Their car was worth twice what their teacher's car was worth. I remember there was this teacher, foreign language teacher, and he had this giant boat from the early 70s. And the door lock was, the door wouldn't close. And to this day, there's no excuse for this guy not just getting the fucking door fixed. He fucking tied like a 1/4-inch rope around like the handle of the door and then like 15 times around his headrest. And he'd have to get out the fucking passenger's side. And one of the great things about getting old is you stop giving a fuck about what people think about you. But for the most part, that's a great thing. But in that instance, that was not a good thing. That was not a good thing for people to see because being a teacher is a tremendous profession. But you can't show up in a piss yellow fucking boat that you got the fucking door tied to the headrest. I mean, as much as you love something, you want to be able to support a fucking family. I always thought, looking back years later, that there might have been a half dozen people that were considering being a teacher, myself one of them. And once you saw that, you're like, yeah, you know what? I don't think I want to do that. I don't want to walk around with a dirty sport coat having to get out the passenger side of my fucking car because I can't even afford to get the goddamn door lock fixed. You drove like 3 of the 4 years I was in high school. This guy would pull up in that fucking car. So anyways, these two kids got these cars and... So, of course, they're driving around like maniacs. Of course, everybody's drinking and driving. This was the 80s. This was like, this was some sort of, I don't know. It was an activity that was done. You went out, you found someone of age to buy you a case of beer, and then you just drove around town. There was nothing to do. You drove around town and tried to run into other kids you went to high school with, and they would be driving around, with the 12-pack in their car, and then you'd be like, where you going? And then you'd find some dead-end street, and you'd all go down there. And then the cops would come down and break it up. And then you'd drive around and everybody would gather someplace else. It was weird. There was no cell phones and somehow everybody figured out where the hell everyone was going. So long story short, the kid who had the Trans Am ended up fucking, going too fast, pushed it past the limit and went flying into a bunch of trees. Fortunately, they were smaller trees, so the trees lost the battle, but he totaled his fucking car. That was right as we were graduating. So you know what his parents did? To teach him a lesson, they went out and they bought him a Corvette. So here's the thing. Now he's got the Corvette. He fucked up. He totaled his car. They went out, not only bought him a brand new car, they bought him an even better car. He had a Corvette. So now the other kid who didn't fuck up his car is now looking at his IROC like it's a piece of shit. So within 3 months, he then had a Corvette. And beyond, so he could one up the other kid, he had a custom interior. He had like all this wood put on the inside of it because the 80s Corvettes, the interior was unbelievably plain. And that was the last I ever saw of either one of them, because then I graduated. Except for the kid who got the custom Corvette. I ran into him in a bar about 2 years ago. And he was hammered and proceeded to say some of the most racist shit I've ever heard in my life. And I just sort of slowly backed away like, all right, buddy, see you in another 30 years. Anyways, let's read some advertising here at this point. Let me see if I can find where the fuck I'm at. Oh, I'm an idiot. I didn't put the fucking advertising out. Now you're going to have to listen to all these clickings. I apologize. Sorry. One last click. And we're in. All right. Oh, Jesus. Look who's here. It's our favorite. I don't boop. MeUndies. Who the fuck you gonna vote for? Doot. MeUndies. The fucking dope or the whore. I don't know who you're gonna vote for, but I know they both should be seen the door because they both suck. One's kind of a rapist. The other is a fucking creep. I don't know. None of it's funny to me anymore. Can you imagine if Hillary Clinton fucked Dick Cheney? Could you imagine what would that baby, the capabilities of that baby? You know what I mean? I think that baby would be the last person on Earth with all the fucking AI robots. And even the AI robots would be like, yeah, we're not fucking with that one. All right? I think we took this Westworld thing far enough. But this one here, we'll just, we'll keep an eye on it. There's no other human for this thing to breed with. We'll just let it slowly die out. And, you know what I mean? Just leave it the fuck alone. All right, MeUndies, everybody. Picture a world where putting on a new pair of underwear isn't just fresh. You're stepping into a better day. Think about it. Underwear is the first thing you put on and the last thing you take off. Why would you settle for anything less than the best feeling underwear on the planet? MeUndies focuses solely on producing the most comfortable underwear you've ever experienced. I can't even tell you what I just fucking pictured there. I just pictured a bunch of people standing there as these MeUndies people had like, you know what a maxi pad is shaped like? But it's made out of that modal, and they just fucking slapping it on everybody's undercarriage. And then they just look at the look of bliss or fucking discomfort on their face. Be like, nah, it's not soft enough yet. Sorry, I've been watching a lot of shit about robots, so the whole human thing is starting to fucking float away here. All right. My friends at MeUndies sent me a few pairs a while back, and now I can't imagine wearing anything else. Of course I can. I can imagine wearing fucking anything. A human face, I've watched Hannibal Lecter. It really makes each day that much better. They sent me 2 pairs. One was actually my size, and the other one was the Greg Louganis cut, which I wore one time, and my wife almost passed out. She laughed so hard. Just picture me standing, and they were sort of pinkish red, and they were unbelievably tight, and I was not in good shape, so my pasty fucking stomach was, and love handles were kind of hanging over the top. Oh, there's a fucking image for you. Take that one to lunch. All right, for the price of 2 cocktails, MeUndies will deliver your new favorite pair of underwear right to your doorstep. Better day guaranteed. Try them on. And if they aren't the most comfortable, best-feeling undies you've ever had, they'll refund you, and they let you keep your first pair for free. Included in the price is this sweet touch of modal. Creepy. A special fabric made with the best-in-class raw materials that are scientifically proven to be 3 times softer than cotton. These uber-cozy undies. Get real. I bet Trump wears MeUndies. Are sold exclusively on the MeUndies website, where you'll enjoy free shipping in the U.S. and Canada. And for a limited time, everyone in my audience gets 20% off their first order. But you have to go to our special URL, MeUndies.com/Burr. With the MeUndies Better Day Guarantee, you have nothing to lose.
So don't wait any longer. Go to MeUndies.com/Burr right now for 20% off your first order. That's MeUndies.com/Burr. All right. Oh, Jesus. It's Dollar Shave Club, dude. Dude, fucking Tom Brady's back, kid. Dude, if the fucking Buffalo Bills hadn't beat a fucking 20th string quarterback, we might have gone fucking undefeated in the regular season again, kid. Dollar Shave Club. Guys, to go to Dollar Shave Club for a fantastic shave. What you probably don't know is that they have other amazing products too. The quality is the best on the market. Their body wash is great and won't dry out your skin. Their pre- and post-shave stuff keeps your skin soft and smooth. Their stuff will have you looking and smelling like $1,000,000. Dollar Shave Club got stuff. They got stuff for your hair, for your face, for your underparts, for everywhere to keep you feeling and looking fresh. Once you're in the club, you'll see they've got the best grooming products out there. And they're all affordable. This is really starting to feel like a cult. Reminds me of the time I almost accidentally joined fucking Scientology. Right now is your chance. I didn't almost join it. I just didn't realize what it was, I thought it was an acting class. It was an acting class, but it was run by Scientology. And they were all like, we have our own parking. We have our own security. I literally said in, I go, Jesus Christ, I feel like I'm joining a cult. And the guy's eyes did something weird, and he was trying to figure out if I was being a wise ass or if I was fucking around. And then once I figured out what it was, I blew them off. And then they kept calling me. And I finally fucking picked up. And it was like, did we lose you? It's like, yeah, you did. All right, right now is your chance to see for yourself why so many people love Dollar Shave Club. If you're not a member yet and you've never joined, now's the time. You'll get your first month of raises for free. Just pay the shipping. And it's only a few bucks. Join today. Go to dollarshaveclub.com/Burr. That's dollarshaveclub.com/Burr. Did I ever tell you guys a Scientology story? I'll read the other advertising later. This is more interesting. All right? So, this is like fucking, I don't know how many years ago. This is, Bill Clinton was still in office, I think, when this happened. And basically, I need to take an acting class. I'm living in Los Angeles, and I needed to take an acting class, right? So, whatever. So somebody suggested this fucking place, and I went over there. I think it was the Beverly Hills Playhouse was the name of this fucking place, and I went over there, and I show up for the acting class, and the teacher goes, this is so fucking weird. He just goes, oh, his big class was packed, and it was a well-known actor too. So I was like, wow, man, this is going to be a fucking great class. And it was a great class, other than the fucking creepy vibe. So to start the class, the guy goes, okay, does anybody have any news they want to share with the class? All right, so people raised their hands. And basically it was actors talking about what they booked that week. And, and there's a thing, I guess, amongst actors as you're starting out, you get envious and you get jealous. So I guess this was a reaction to this. What this whole exercise was about. People put their hands up. This is like, fucking the mid-90s or some shit. And someone would be like, yeah, I just booked, I booked a guest star on Friends. And then the whole class, like ridiculously loud and for a ridiculous amount of time, would just go, whoa, whoa, like clapping and screaming like somebody just cured cancer. And then it all died down. I was just like, what the fuck was that? And then somebody else goes, oh, yeah, hey, I just booked a reoccurring on Union Square. Whoa, it's been crazy. So then once that shit dies down, I was immediately like, hey, man, I knew L.A. was a little different, but what the fuck is this? They go, hey, we got a couple of new students here auditing the class. He just moved here from New York City. Please welcome Bill Burr. And they clapped and cheered just as loud as they did for the other people that book like Friends. But here's the thing, when they were cheering, no one was looking at anyone. They were just sort of staring straight ahead, clapping and screaming as loud as you possibly could. And I remember my face turned red, like I got embarrassed, like what the fuck? And then that's when I after the class, we took the first break, and the
the actor teaching the class. And the actors were great, you know, other than the weird vibe, right? So I fucking go up there, and the guy goes, "How you doing?" And I looked at him, I was like, "Doing good." Because he's a great actor, he totally read me. He goes, "The beginning of the class was that a little bit too much?" I was like, "Yeah, it might have been." So I go into the back. You know, now they're going to try to get the money out of me like every acting class does. This is nothing against Scientology. So that's when I sat down, and that's when the guy was just like, you know, we're very self-sufficient. We have our own security. We have our own parking. Everything was their own. And that's when I said, Jesus Christ. You know, I just had to break the tension. It was so fucking weird. So I just made this joke. I go, Jesus Christ, I feel like I'm joining a cult. It was me and this other kid sitting there. I don't know what the fuck ever happened to him. I don't know if he's clear yet or he fucking moved back to Iowa. I have no idea what. But the guy made like this weird face when I said it. And so I left, and I was like, wow, that was fucking weird. But it was still like it was a good class, though, you know? And I really liked acting class and that type of shit. And so I was still kind of on the fence. And I ended up running into somebody later on that night, I think at the Laugh Factory, and I mentioned, and the person was like, where was the class? And I said it was at Beverly Hills Playhouse. And he just goes, Bill, that's Scientology. I go, get the fuck out of here. It's an acting class. They said, no, but they're trying to recruit you into that religion. So I got all fucking weirded out. And, you know, they just kept calling, leaving messages on my fucking answer machine. And then that's, you know, finally they called again. And I'd been ducking them for like 3 days. And after 3 days, I was just like, you know, I thought they were watching me and shit. I got all fucking paranoid. Not saying they were, but I just, I mean, I'm a fucking conspiracy theorist. Last thing I need is an actual cult fucking hounding me. That was not good for my psyche. So finally, after 3 days, they called again. And that's just, I was like, what am I, a fucking bitch? I can't just call these people up and say, go fuck yourself. So I just picked up the phone. I'm like, hello. And they're like, hey, Beverly Hills Playhouse. I go, yeah, man, I'm all set. And the guy's like, oh, did we lose you? I was like, yeah, you did. All right, don't call me anymore. He goes, okay, fine. And then that was it. They left me alone. But I think it's because it was early on. You know? So I didn't have to deal with Donald Sutherland, like when I walked out to my car later on that night, just pointing at me like an invasion of the body snatchers. You know, not to say that Scientology is any more or less fucked up than my religion, you know? I've always maintained that if the Inquisition was filmed, like my religion wouldn't exist anymore. That's what happened with the Nazis. They filmed this shit, so no one's ever going to forget it. The shit that my religion did was never filmed, so it's just like stick figures and drawings, and no one cares. You know what I mean? But to actually have the actual footage of like, oh yes, not only did it really happen, this is what it looked like. It's a fucking wrap. What am I talking about? All right, let's get back to fucking the subjects here I wanted to talk about instead of Scientology and Holocaust footage. What do we got here? What do we got here? Oh, you know what I didn't even mention I didn't even congratulate the fucking Cleveland Indians for sweeping the Red Sox. And, you know, I'm wondering if, I always pick on Dan Shaughnessy, which, you know, to be fair, isn't fair, but for me to just single him out is kind of funny. So I'm going to continue just trashing him. I wonder if did Dan Shaughnessy or any of those other guys who demanded the Red Sox make a change after we had that fucking collapse in 2012. Was it 2012? We had the collapse in September. Or whatever the fuck it was. I can't remember what the hell it was. All I remember was, however we got rid of Terry Francona, was we had basically, we didn't win the World Series. We didn't win the playoffs for how many years in a row. And then everybody demands a fucking change. Like this guy who won 2 World Series with us, oh, by the way, we hadn't won in 86 years, suddenly does not know how to win a fucking championship anymore. So we fucking, the sports writers demand a trade, the ownership fucking gives into it or whatever. I mean, I'm not saying they actually literally listen to these guys, but like, I just would love these sports writers that demanded the Red Sox make a fucking move, at least acknowledge the fact, oh, there's Terry Francona all these years later coming back and sweeping our ass. The first round of the playoffs. Theo Epstein's running the Cubs right now. I don't know.
These are all like former Red Sox. They all knew what the fuck they were doing. Why did we get rid of all of these guys? Theo Epstein is a fucking genius. This guy's going to he already broke the curse of the babe. He helped do that. Now he's going to break the curse of the goat. Right? Automatic Hall of Fame. John Lester's pitching for him. It's like this whole postseason is just littered with former fucking Red Sox. But you know what? What do I care? We won 3. Who gives a fuck? We won 3 this decade. Am I actually going to complain about that? Oh, I think I am. No, not really. I don't give a fuck. You know what it is? I think it's safe to say I want to see a Cubs-Indians World Series. I mean, I like the Dodgers. Blue Jays, I don't mind. Although Geddy Lee one time talked shit about the Red Sox and their fans, and ever since then I just hated Toronto Blue Jay fans. You know, I blame him. Geddy Lee from Rush, the bass player. You know, today's Tom Sawyer's a mean. Yeah, so I would love to see that. Both of them. They're already doing like all this. You know what fucking sucks about being in a drought like the Cubs are in? Like the ESPN or all these guys, they just have to fucking sit there and just splice together every fucking horrible thing that happened, and they just try to make it, you know. I got so sick of that as a Red Sox fan, so I have a lot of empathy for Cubs fans because they don't do it to the Indians. As much as the Indians fans try to act like they're long-suffering Indian fans, it's like, dude, you know, it's 1948. You've suffered half as fucking long, all right? And then also, nobody was, and I even say this about the Cubs, nobody chants 1908 at you. You know, the way they chanted 1918. I was at a fucking Devil Rays game back when they were the Devil Rays. Before those dopes thought that sounded too evil. Fucking Clearwater cunts. They chanted 1918 at us when I went to a game down in Tampa. And they were chanting. I was just looking at the guys like, are you fucking serious? Yeah, we haven't won in 86 fucking years, but we still got 5 more than you. They chanted that at us. I went to an interleague game at the old Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, and I'm like these guys went over 100 years. They went from like 1880 something, to almost 100 years to 1980. But they had won one in 1980, so that gave them the fucking right to chant that shit at us. I don't know. And then Cubs fans, you're always going there during the day. You're taking your shirts off. It just looks like a big keg party, and it almost looks like you don't even give a fuck. You know what? Fuck it. Let's see the Dodgers and Blue Jays. No, I don't give a shit. I'm just, I absolutely love playoff baseball. I don't know what happens. The second it becomes October and they throw all those extra microphones and you can just hear the ball hitting the mitt, it just takes this whole other level of like the whole mystique of the national pastime just fucking comes to life. Like, for the fucking life of me, if they wanted to increase their ratings, keep whatever those playoff microphones are, where you can just fucking hear everything. You can really hear the sound of the crowd and all of that. If you just would, well, maybe we'd get spoiled. I don't fucking know. All I know is it sounds completely different, and that adds to the whole thing. And I've missed every second, every fucking pitch because I've been working. But I tape my special on Friday, and then after that, I'm going to be watch every fucking pitch. Oh, I can't wait. I can't fucking wait. Oh, I'm putting my feet up, but I'm going to keep working out. Because I'm down to basically I'm a few pounds. I'm going to be a few pounds over, but I'll be fine for the special. And but I'm going to keep going and get myself into fucking ridiculous shape like I was last year. And the next thing I'm adding to my gym are those fucking Swedish bars. So that's my goal. By the time I'm 50, I want to be able to do the human flag. I'm already working on a front lever, which is really fucking hard, man. Just because it's just muscles you don't use. You know, you ever see somebody do a pull-up and then they just go straight out and they look like they're like parallel with the ground as they hold on to a pull-up bar? I've been gradually building up the strength to do that. I can now hang from the bar with my knees tucked up into my chest. It's all about balance. And you actually have to be like pretty much behind the bar. So like the weight, especially me with my big head, has to be on one side. And then gradually you start to extend one leg a little bit. until you can hold the whole fucking thing. And I don't know. Whatever. I have to be working towards shit like that, or like workouts just become... It's like me trying to write down my jokes. It just becomes like this unbelievably tedious thing. All right, and with that, let's fucking... is there anything else I wanted to say? Tennessee, Alabama. Poor Tennessee. Jesus Christ, they were fucking rolling there. And they just ran into a couple of tough opponents. Dude, Alabama looks like fucking world beaters. Wisconsin, Ohio State was an amazing game. I watched that one. Felt bad for Wisconsin, man. They had that fucking game. And then Dak Prescott of the Dallas Cowboys. Jesus Christ. The guy looks like a 5-year vet. But anyways, I got to tell you this, man. I've gone almost a week without losing my shit, and it feels pretty good. Like I got to, I don't know. I got to keep doing this type of stuff because I don't want to be, I don't want to be a rager my whole fucking life. And I know you guys, oh, that's going to affect your comedy. No, it isn't. Believe me. I got plenty left in the reserve tank for when I get on stage. All right, let's read some of your questions here for this week. All right. Oh, here's a note from Andrew. Bill, got tons of emails from people who watched and loved last week's Simpsons episode, as well as this guy who suggests you check it out. Oh, this guy didn't know I was in the episode. Said, hey, Bill, next time you're trying to get your ginger ass in shape for 20 minutes, turn on the newest Simpsons episode and watch it between your legs during Pilates. There are Patriots and Boston references, and I think you'd really like it. I hope to hear you laugh about it in the podcast, not on the podcast. Yes, sir. I was in that episode. I was the guy who said, we won 12 division titles in the last 10 years, fair and square. I was the guy in the tunnel. And I think I did one other. Nate said I did one other one. I didn't I think I was in the other room by then. All right. Westworld. Not saying I didn't watch and love the episode, but I have like fucking ADD. I can only sit there for so goddamn long. I'm scatterbrained. All right. Westworld. Hey, Billy Bot. I'm fascinated with artificial intelligence. You mentioned Westworld in a 60-minute piece last week, and I wanted to share with you this perspective on AI. Westworld is the most compelling aspect of AI's advancement. Westworld is the most... I think he meant to go Westworld. He goes, the most compelling aspect of AI's advancement is that when it does in fact surpass the human brain in all aspects and begins to consider self-preservation, it will happen almost completely overnight as far as the public is concerned. I suggest you watch this short TED Talk by Sam Harris. I actually watched that. We will put up the link. He also talks about the political implications on the world stage, i.e., would China launch an attack if they thought we were dangerously close to losing control of our technology? It seems as if... See, this is why, I already can't read. This guy writes a sentence. It seems as if, though, you would need all world leaders. As if, though? Is that grammatically correct? Oh, it seems as if, comma, which isn't there, though you would need all world leaders and tech leaders to focus their efforts on controlling the AI instead of advancing it further, period. I don't know how to read that sentence. This seems unlikely. It'd be like jerking off to just the point before completion for the rest of eternity. Good luck out there. Oh, yeah, all the world leaders would want to try to control it. It's not going to happen. I don't understand why we're doing it. And I don't understand why there has to be these constant technological improvements. It's just all based on money. I mean, what if it just stopped right here? Like, how fucking great is your life right now? If you're in a first world country, you're not the person putting together these devices that makes our lives so great in a third world country. It's fine. We should have just we're just sitting at the blackjack table rather than just taking our winnings and just going back to our room. We're just fucking sitting here, and eventually we're just gonna crap out. We're gonna lose it all. I absolutely believe that 100%. And I think it is just so fucked up, weird, and bizarre that even if you're not a conspiracy theorist, what is the fucking purpose of making robots to this goddamn level? You know what I mean? It's just a bunch of fucking weirdos at the top I'm telling you, they want to phase out the rest of us, and they just want a bunch of zombies that will do whatever the fuck they want them to do, and that they can fuck and do whatever the hell they want to them. And then eventually they'll just take them over and they'll fucking kill them. Or is that like one of the many movies that I've watched about it? Anyways, I'm a paranoid psycho, but I think in this instance, I think it's good to be paranoid. All right. Roommate psycho. Hey there, you freckly bastard. I've been living with the guy for about 6 months. We've known each other for about a year. Everything has been good between us with no issues, which is weird because I never have a good experience with roommates. Well, if you never have a good experience, you got to start looking at yourself. Either who you're picking or maybe you're the asshole. Maybe you're a cunt. All right. Anyways, over the weekend, I went out of town to visit family, and while I was away, he got drunk, went into my room, tore up a body pillow on my bed. When I got back, he had a guilty look on his face, told me that what happened, and then apologized. Needless to say, it was fucking awkward, and all I could say was that strange behavior and tried to break the awkwardness by kind of jokingly asking him not to kill me. Nothing else has been said since regarding the issue. What do you think I should do? I want to talk to a psychiatrist to see what he thinks, but I figure you are the next best option. In other words, you're too cheap to get a professional opinion. You're going to ask me. First things first, I get a lock on my bedroom door. Dude, if you're literally concerned for your safety, I would fucking move out. That's what I would do. I would get another fucking place without telling this fucking person. I would move 80% of my shit over there. I would then fucking tell him in the presence of one of my friends that I was leaving. And, and I would just, pay for the last half of the month and I would get the fuck out of there. Dude, if you're going to go see a psychiatrist and you're worried that this guy's going to do some sort of bodily harm to you, I would get the fuck out of there. I don't care how nice an apartment it is. I don't give a shit if your name's on the fucking lease. I would just leave. The fact that he got drunk and went into your room and, violently attacked a body pillow. I mean, and you're sitting there going, was he so drunk that he went in there, he saw that giant lump and he thought it was me under the pillows and that could have been... Yeah, fuck that guy. And why do you have to feel awkward around him? Why do you have to break the tension? Yeah, you should have been like, dude, that's completely psychotic behavior. I need you to fucking move out. You say that after you get rid of all the knives. I would just, move on. The fuck out of there. All right, Russia readies for war? War? Hey, Bill, did you hear Russia called all its foreign dignitaries back to the homeland? This isn't uncommon before an attack, but also probably just a scare tactic. If one day someone came on the news and said Russia threatened to bomb the West Coast, what would your state of mind be? I would be completely chill. Would you be like, nah, never going to happen? Or would you get in your new green car and hit the road with the lovely Nia and Cleo in tow? No. No, if Russia attacks us, I want to be the first person to get killed. Yeah, I don't want to live through that. I have no desire to live through a fucking world war. You know what I mean? It's one thing to actually be in the army, you know what I mean? And you got a group of pals and shit. But if you're going to be like the fucking, just the old farmer in the town, wondering which army's coming up the road next, I don't need that shit. Yeah. That's like the fat fuck there in North Korea when he said he was going to shoot a missile at Los Angeles. It's like, great, I hope you shoot it right at my house. I like the way the world is right now. And whatever, I was going to use the word cataclysmic, but I was worried that I wouldn't say it right. Whatever fucking major thing happens, I don't want to survive it. I want to be the first person to go and just be sitting there with my fucking little downloaded music, listening to it, and then it's over. And then when all the rest of this shit happens, I don't want to fucking live through it. Start all over again, Fucking people getting polio again and the mumps. All right, Cleo eating grass. Hello, Bill. I owned a dog for 12 years, passed away in 2014. Sorry to hear that. Sometimes when we were out walking, it would dive into the bushes and chew on grass. From my observations, it usually exhibited this behavior if its deworming shots were long overdue, 4-month intervals. Deworming removes irritating flora that has accumulated in the gut. As a result of eating contaminated food or other nasty stuff, your dog may have licked off the floor while you're not around. A dog that is due for deworming has poor appetite, may vomit food, and sometimes lay down awkwardly due to intestinal cramps. My dog has shown none of those symptoms. My theory at the time was, since dogs are not herbivores, I don't know, ingesting grass was nature's way of getting fibrous roughage into the gut like a broom to sweep out the irritating gut. The end result was that after eating grass, my dog would later throw up a chunk of undigested food or take a huge dump, and he would be fine for many weeks after that purge. Yeah, but my dog eats grass all the fucking time. I hope my explanation was clear enough. It may not have been proven scientifically, or maybe it has. You could look it up. You could look up dog deworming. But I figured since you've complained about it in more than one podcast and no listeners have written to you about it yet, I could relate my own experiences with that behavior in a dog. Nevertheless, the best solution would be stick to the dog's deworming shots routine. I think we do that. Congratulations on your new Jag. Thanks for the podcast. Yeah, I always thought it was like some sort of... I thought they ate grass when they were sick. But then she was just kind of doing it all the time. Who knows? I mean, who knows what the fuck they put in dog food? So, yeah. But we always have her up to date on all our stuff. All right, road rage. Dear Billiam, I have a solution to your road rage. Oh, okay, I'm all ears. It's a tactic I use to keep my cool when I'm behind the wheel. Bear in mind, this tactic only works if the windows are rolled up. Whenever you feel the urge to curse or yell, just pretend to do so, mouthing curse words and whatever else you want to say. All right, I'm already out, dude. That's just fucking weird. I'm not doing that. I'm not mouthing, fuck you, you fucking cunt. Shake your fists in the air and pretend to slam the steering wheel. Don't damage that Corinthian leather there. That's hilarious. Whoever upset you by cutting you off will see you losing your shit and fear for their safety. But the joke's on them. You're just faking it. You may look like a maniac, but it's also a lot of fun. Oh, I guess because it's so silly. It takes so much energy and concentration to just pretend to freak out that you quickly cool down and possibly forget what you got mad about in the first place. I hope this tip helps, and congrats on the new car. There's a lot to be said for straying from the pack, especially when it comes to European sports sedans. Best regards. Yeah, you know what I do when somebody cuts me off now in public? I just go, nice move. I would have done that. I try to find the fucking humor. What I was actually thinking of doing was having a Post-it or something, a checklist in my car before I got in the car. And even if it's as simple as just drawing a smiley face, don't let the cunts win underneath it, and just gradually driving down the road. The big thing is, for me, is if I'm late. Because I flip out even when I'm not late. But if I'm fucking late, which is my fault, I start driving like an asshole. I'm flipping the fuck out. And, but I'm really going to work on it. And I've been great for like the last 7 days. But like an asshole, you always hear me on the podcast too. I go, Did you notice, Nia? I'm still like a little fucking kid where I need like the attention and the fucking approval. So I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not going to do it for her fucking approval. I have to do this, because it's the right fucking thing to do, rather than trying to get praise from my fucking wife over the bullshit. But I've decided I'm gonna beat this thing, because I think I can, because I never, I never tried to work on it, really. You know what I mean? Like I worked on getting better as a comedian. That happened. I worked on better at getting drums. That happened. I worked on getting a pilot's license. That happened. I never worked on my fucking temper. I just viewed it as like, well, that's how I'm wired. I don't know what the fuck you want me to do. All that shit. So, I would like to be, I'm done being that guy. I'm trying. I can hear all you guys laughing like, this is like, it's just not going to happen.
Like sometimes I feel like I can beat my temper, and then other times I feel like I'm deciding that I'm gonna like I can't dunk a basketball, and it's like, well, I've decided that I'm going to learn how to dunk a basketball. It's just one of those things like, dude, if you can't jump, you can't fucking jump. Sometimes it feels like that. Like literally, I'm trying to I'm going to learn how to sing, dude. You're tone deaf. You can't fucking sing. You know, there's just certain things you just weren't born with that gift, and sometimes I feel like my temper is like that. But hopefully that isn't the case. All right, let me read the last couple of advertisements here. LegalZoom. Attention to detail is key when you run a business. Oh, you mean you can't just wing it there? You can't afford to take your eye off the prize even for a moment. Are either one of those sentences necessary? Attention to detail is key when you run a business. Really? You can't afford to take your eye off the prize even for a moment. So don't let things like legal questions become a distraction. Use LegalZoom instead. LegalZoom was created 15 years ago by the brightest minds in law and technology as a way for everyday Americans to easily, affordably, and confidently navigate the legal system. And since LegalZoom isn't a law firm, you never have to worry about an attorney's billable hours piling up and costing you a fortune. With LegalZoom, you get no surprises pricing, customer reviews, and complete transparency. Well, if you're not a law firm, how the fuck are you going to give me advice on the law? Plus, you can have the peace of mind. Oh, I always say that. Here it is. Plus, you have the peace of mind of working with LegalZoom's network of independent attorneys available in 48 states who can answer your questions from start to finish at a reasonable flat rate instead of by the hour. So focus your time and energy on growing your business and use LegalZoom for legal stuff. LegalZoom, legal help is here. Make sure to enter Burr, B-U-R-R, in the referral box at checkout to save even more. LegalZoom.com. That's LegalZoom.com. Oh, what's today's date, by the way? October 17th. Okay, we're getting close. I was just thinking I pre-ordered the new Pretenders album. I think it's coming out soon. You know, if none of you guys got Chrissy Hynde's last solo album, Stockholm, highly recommend that. I actually listened to the Pretenders album when I have to fucking work out, you know, some of their early 80s stuff. And I know you're thinking, like, Bill, don't you listen to, like, your fucking Guns N' Roses 80s shit? Sometimes it's just so fucking early and I'm so old. Like, I need something a little more, like, just mellow. You know? Just to try to fucking ease my way into it. And I've found that, you know, those albums have been great for me. So, anyways, Stamps.com. Continuing on. Some small businesses still think an expensive postage meter is the only way to get postage without having to go to the post office. But they're wrong. Wrong. Donald Trump, wrong. There's Stamps.com. With Stamps.com, you can easily print postage for any letter or package using your computer and printer. No extra hardware to buy, no long-term contracts. Stamps.com could save you at least 50% compared to a meter. Plus, you can do more with Stamps.com. You can take a meter than you can with a meter. Like send package tracking information to. What the fuck's going on with me here? Like send package tracking information to recipients with one click. The choice is clear. Stamps.com offers more features at a fraction of the cost. I have been using Stamps.com for years for my shows. It makes mailing and shipping my posters really convenient. Right now, sign up for Stamps.com and use my last name, Burr, to get a 4-week trial plus a $110 bonus offer, including postage and a digital scale. Don't wait. Go to Stamps.com before you do anything else. Click on the microphone at the top of the homepage and type in Burr. All right, there we go. I think that is the podcast here for this week. I'm scrolling now through my whole iTunes. I don't understand. You know what? I can't play any of my fucking music. It says too many devices have already been cleared to, to listen to iTunes, so it doesn't let me listen to it anymore. I can't, and I don't remember the passwords of anything else on any other device. I don't know what other devices they're saying. Does it mean, my old laptops that are dead, I got to turn them back on, find the cord, plug them in, and do what? unlet them listen to fucking iTunes? Or does it mean there's too many devices in the house? I have no fucking idea. As far as I know, it's just my laptop and my phone. How can that be too many devices? But whatever. All right, here's the album. Alone. It hasn't come out yet. The Pretenders, Alone. I know it's coming out in like a week or so. But lately when I've been like lifting, I've been listening to like the whole Learning to Crawl album. It's actually fucking great for working out. Who would have thought? I always thought you had to have this really aggressive shit. I don't know. I'm all over the fucking place, and I can't figure out. You know, I got kicked off of my own fucking Facebook. Somebody sent me something for these fucking pictures. I don't know if I got phished or whatever. But now I can't get into my my own account. And they said the only way I can turn my account back on is if I send them a picture of myself. And I'm just thinking like, well, how the fuck do you know what I look like? So I'm officially done with Facebook. You know. Like, let's see. Okay, you know what? Let me see if I can go onto Facebook right now. So let's see if my computer will let me. My phone won't. This is just extra time, people. This isn't even the podcast anymore. This is just you. Yeah, see? I'm done. Email or phone. I don't even recognize. I fucking hate this shit. Now what I got to do? I got to spend like another 20 hours trying to figure this out? It's not even worth it to me. Why do I care if someone fished my fucking account anyways? What are they going to do with it? You know what I mean? Congratulations. You have my Facebook account. See? There you go. There's the new me. The old me would have flipped out. I just don't give a shit anymore. You know what? You win. You win, Facebook. You win, technology, you fucking cunts. All right, that's the podcast for this week. Thank you for listening. Thank you to everybody who's been coming out to my shows this week in D.C., and I'm really looking forward to putting this thing to bed come this Friday at the Ryman in Nashville, Tennessee. And then old Freckles is on fucking vacation for the rest of the year. Cannot wait. All right, go fuck yourselves, and I'll check in on you on Thursday.